Strength, something everyone craves a bit in their lives, whether it be for minimal effort to get things done or a monumental feat. Since the new season of Baki just released, I was having a conversation with a friend and we were having a conversation about the Baki manga as a whole. And one of the questions that was brought up was, how do I get so strong that I truly stand out? Like Miyamoto Musashi was on a whole nother level and was also a real person who stood out. Not just among average people, but the strongest of the strong. And what's great about this is Musashi himself wrote a phenomenal book called The Book of Five Rings, which broke down this concept immaculately. I highly recommend anyone check it out. It's well worth the read. How do you become so far above the rest? Similar to how Goku, Toji, Baki, Yujiro Hanma, Hayato Furinji, Saitama, Gojo, and more are comparatively to majority of their peers, just toned down to real world standards. Watching characters like Naruto, Luffy, and Kenichi gradually become so strong they outclass strong people who used to whoop them is amazing inspiration. And is it possible from just hard training, day after day after day? Can you actually make yourself so strong from physical training on your own that you would be able to outclass even professional athletes in the real world? Yo dudes and dudettes, your friendly neighbor JaxBlade is back, and the idea of working out so hard on your own that you are now in a league of your own is one of the most common power fantasies that a person will experience. Similar to the "if one is born male" speech from Baki, which reads, "If one is born as a male, at least once in his life he'll dream of becoming the strongest man alive." The idea of ascending alone and surpassing others shows status, perseverance, and true independence, as the only thing you truly own in this world is your body. You can build up your physical strength and power through consistent effort, sweat, blood, and tears. That's the amazing thing about being human that Saitama even mentioned in One Punch Man. We as a species have the ability to change ourselves. Money, social status, fame, etc. are all great for comfort and appearance of authority, but if you're shirtless and stranded with no assets, you realize they don't mean much if you can't physically defend yourself or aren't physically capable at all. Similar to the "do you feel in charge" scene with Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. The only thing you truly own in this world is your body and your mind, so it's important to train them well. So, let's actually take some time and break down how far you can actually get training solo, how you can compare to others, and how to truly stand out physically. So, you're on your journey to become the strongest and have decided you're gonna do it solo. The good news is, these days especially, you have so much information around to help mold you into a beast. You can build up your muscle with resistance training and progressively overload to get stronger. You can do conditioning drills to boost your stamina, agility, and endurance. You can do flexibility and mobility training to help you become a lot more fluid. You can practice skill drills to help you become much more skilled than the average person. You can improve your reflexes to a crazy amount with weekly practice. You can consume foods that nourish and build the body to become much more fortified. And as long as you are recovering with good sleep, your body will grow and evolve. Depending on your genetics, this can boost you astronomically or just make you stronger than the majority of the average population. You'll be visibly more athletic, capable, and even intimidating to some folks. And I gotta say, there's absolutely nothing wrong with reaching this. Many people would actually be at peace reaching this. But if you do want to reach that next level, the issue with doing this solo is there's a few things that you happen to be lacking and a few things you just do not know. For example, you don't know how long your strength lasts under true fatigue. You also don't know if your conditioning is actually really good or maybe just a little better than average. And you don't know if you're actually exceptional at certain things or if you just happen to be a big fish in a small pond. Think of it like how Yujiro is the biggest fish in his universe, but if he tried to fight these three, he'd be cooked. Inevitably, at some point, you're gonna hit a ceiling, and we'll talk about that further in depth in future sections. Here's the truth. You generally don't know how strong you are until you face resistance. That's what it means to be strong to overcome an obstacle. I mentioned this before, but if you go and pick up a 10-pound weight as an adult, is this impressive? No, because most everyone can do that with very little effort. But if you can go and pick up like a 100-pound weight and do reps with it, that shows a lot of strength that you worked for that a lot of people just do not have. For example, I talked about this in depth in my How to Fight Like Baki, Batman, Goku, Garo video, all right? You can't call yourself a great martial artist or fighter or assume you'll just beat anyone's ass because you see red if you never at least sparred a day in your life, because you have no evidence that the stuff you learned actually works on someone actively trying to attack you. Like, unless you legitimately have Hanma blood, or took that Captain America serum, or are born with Toji and Maki's heavenly restriction, you do not know how strong you are until someone is actively resisting you. You do not know how fast you are until someone races you or chases you down. you do not know how much you really want to win when going against someone who also wants to win just as much, if not more. To truly stand out like you want to, facing competition matters, not because you're trying to be, professional or anything like that, but because it reveals gaps in your training and weak links you might have missed in yourself when doing it. And like I've mentioned many times before on this channel, it also prevents Dunning-Kruger effect from taking place, and most importantly, kills an unwarranted ego that is holding you back. But in addition, it helps you to adapt and accelerate your progress even further beyond. And if anime training truly motivates you, then you know the reason many beloved characters stand out is because they put themselves into competitive scenarios. Goku competed in tournaments when he was a kid and is constantly trying to throw hands. Baki competed in tournaments and also is constantly trying to throw hands. Naruto competed in the Chunin exams. Luffy fights against countless challenges day after day after day. The potential of losing has consequences, all right? But not in the sense of like, oh, the world's gonna end or anything like that, like crazy stuff like that, but just being in competition and allowing yourself to go, all right, let's see what I can do, will actually help you to grow so much further. Even if you lose, like this is one of the things that a lot of people do not register, and they're like, oh, I don't wanna freaking lose at all. And the thing that they don't realize is losing helps you to grow. It helps you to get evaluative experience and become better. Like fall down 7 times, stand up 8. This is what Goku is all about. Everyone is always about, oh, Goku solos the entire verse, but they don't understand Goku's character. As a matter of fact, watch this short right here where I break it down fully, because this is something a lot of people need to hear. As long as you're competing in a relatively safe setup, this will help you just grow exponentially, not only like physically, but as a person in general. You cannot stand out truly like you want to unless you put yourself into the fray. And a great example of this is whenever people who are just gym bros try to play around with people who are pro athletes in a physical field like football or combat sports. If you have ever done this, like depending on the athlete, the difference in strength and power is so astronomical. It doesn't feel like you're going up against another strong person. It feels like you're going up against like a literal animal. Because these athletes have been consistently going against other strong people for the majority of their careers, and doing that just evolves you to another level of your biology. Like real talk, your neural drive is better, your tissue density is better, the way your muscles relax under force is colossally better, and your body's awareness while competing in chaotic situations is so insane. Which leads us into think of your solo training like building a decent base, sort of like a nice engine. And now you just need some extra parts to turn you into a true badass machine. Like I've been saying this for years, all of us are basically meat bone mechas, like just real life versions of Megas XLR or Titans, etc. And so this just makes you want to build up that extra armor. So guidance will help you make less mistakes. Think of Goku's masters or Naruto senseis helping their students become beasts. Competition helps you to refine those skills and abilities while also proving what works and what doesn't. So then you can work on things like specialization. Give it your own je ne sais quoi, if you will, that thing that lets you stand out specifically. Then, after years of training and competing, your baseline will now be much higher than your previous max effort. Your tendons start to get stronger and thicker, your recovery capacity becomes insane, and the movement efficiency you develop can feel superhuman, especially when you start to see it compared to other people. You only evolve to this state after years of high intensity competition. Seeing and experiencing those constant feedback loops, pushing yourself under stress, fatigue, and working with people who are actively trying to help you improve to levels that you never even thought possible for yourself. Now yes, genetics does play a role in this, because some people will just be genetic anomalies. Like when you see Mike Tyson as a kid and then like as a teen, as an adult, it's like, okay, yeah, he clearly had something going for him. Or even Bo Jackson, one of the greatest athletes of all time. Like all he apparently did was just run and do calisthenics, and then he was able to just bulk up and be an insane athlete as he was. That's the crazy thing. But regardless, this does help put you on that next level. Matter of fact, here's a quote I've always loved. Brian Scalabrine is an NBA star who some fans thought was trash and said they would wash him in a game. He decided to show up and play them and completely embarrass them. They were confused how that happened, and he said one of the coldest lines a pro could say. I may suck as an NBA player, but you suck compared to me. I suck compared to NBA stars. I'm closer to LeBron than you are to me. Ooh, and I thought how Sukuna left Jogo was bad. Just going to show there's levels to this. And to cap this video off, let's talk about something that has become a myth online. Every badass solo beast we've ever watched always had teachers, rivals, enemies, or at least something to test their ability against. Even characters who just train alone or who are isolated, they always had some sort of environment that benefited them, that allowed them to grow faster. They weren't just in like some isolated place by themselves with nothing to test them, all right? Think of Bane training in jail, all right? Not only did he train in the room by himself, but he also was fighting against other criminals and other stuff, and also the environment he was in. Or think of Akuma's origin from Street Fighter. It's said all the time, but pressure creates greatness, not isolation, all right? Think of it like how diamonds are made, all right? They literally are formed under extreme pressure, and that's how people are formed into stronger beings. We talked about this in a previous video, but when you see characters doing insane training in anime, it's very exhilarating, but that's because they want to compete or know they are going to compete against other strong people, antagonizing them. But in reality, majority of the time, people who try to replicate that stuff in real life, whether it be like Mike Tyson level training to look badass, they tend to just overly fatigue themselves and then can't get their real life responsibilities that they actually have to do done, and it negatively affects them, but they keep fighting against it. That's not healthy and will end up burning you in the long run. So just check out that other video I did before this one. And again, there is zero shame in just living a life where you just want to be strong, healthy, functional, and just live and feel better, all right? That's actually extremely valid. But if you're someone who's obsessed with, no, I gotta be the strongest, I gotta be the best, or anything like that, go compete in something. Go compete in something. That'll actually help you to grow even further. And if you lose, don't internalize it. Don't beat yourself up, all right? Get excited at the prospect of like, oh, I'm gonna work myself better and like fix those gaps that I had before that caused me to lose. And that helps you improve. Remember, fall down 7 times, stand up 8. That is literally the Goku method. You got this. And if you are competing in something, type down below. I'm curious to see what like my subscribers or people who are watching this video are competing in and stuff like that to help themselves improve. I'd love to see it. And if you made it this far in the video, type manga athlete down below. It shows me who watched all the way to the end. And if you want a coach to help you reach your goals, I've been a trainer since 2010, so I'd love to talk to you on Zoom. So just check out my links down below. I also just released a new program on school that you can check out, or if you want one of my older programs, just check the links down below as well. Shout out to my patrons on the screen right now. And if you want something that'll help you develop that stronger engine or just help you want to live a better life for yourself, check out the videos on screen now. But remember, like I always say, keep calm, booyah on, and don't forget, Momentai, you got this. I have faith in you.